Hi everyone, this is John with Silver Food Cardboard. I'm back after a couple month hiatus, busy with work, busy with travel. So today, as you see, I want to share my Roberto Clemente collection. I think it's appropriate. Today marks the 47th year since his passing in a plane crash. Also, his widow, Vera, she passed away back in November, so a little over a month ago. And I just wanted to go ahead and share the collection I have so far. I'm going to start off with some of the regional issues, and then I'll run through my my Topps collection that I have. I am missing a couple in the Topps, the 64, 66, and 71. But let's go ahead and get it started here. And Roberto Clemente was one of my favorite players growing up as a kid. I mean, I was only 2 when he passed away, but I loved the way that he played the game. So let's first start off with the 1972 Daily Juice Company, and I have 2 examples there. So this is a 1-card set originally issued for the Clemente fan club members, and let's take a look at the back of that. So, beautiful little portrait of Roberto Clemente. Very common, very easy to get. Next, we're going to take a look at the 1968 KDKA Pirates. So this is another regional issue. It's probably the most common of the 1960s regional issue. It's out of a 23-card set. And take a look at the back there. Pretty cool little card. So what's nice about these is you can get into collecting Roberto Clemente pretty inexpensively with a lot of these regional issues if you wanted to just start off. Next up is the 66 East Hills. So this was a shopping center, and each one of the stores in the shopping center would distribute these cards here. And it's out of a 25-card pirate set. And that's a blank back there. Alrighty. Next up is the 1963 Fleer. So, beautiful looking card there. Nice example of a 5 in that new SGC holder. This set was actually stopped at the first series, which had 66 cards in there. The notables were Mays, Yaz, Koufax in this set. And there is the back of the card. So a nice example. You can find some of these in really high grade. Next up here is the 1963 Post Serial. This is a 200-player card set. And let's see if we can get this set up here. That's in a 4.5. They actually had an album that was given at the grocery store, and that featured Mickey Mantle on the album cover. So pretty cool little set there. It's obviously off a cereal box. There's the back of it. Next up, so same photo is the Post Serial, is the 1963 Jello. So, a little more rare, slightly smaller than the Post, and this one's a pretty rough-looking card, but I got it at a really good price. So, a good example there of the 63 Jello Clemente. Next up is a favorite of mine out of these Post Serials here. Another 200-player card set. This is a 62 Post Serial. So there are 2 versions of this particular card. This one is the red line version there, which is a little bit more common. It also had the blue line borders there in the stats, and that's a pretty rare card to find. This also had a Canadian version, which is a little bit more rare than this. So that's the Post Serial 1962, blank back. And finally, with some of these, call it regional or if you call it photos. This one here is a 1958 to 61J publishing photos. That's a really good example of this in a PSA 4. It's a Type 1 portrait to the chest. He has another one that's batting, and then he has a portrait pose to neck. That's super, super rare card. Only one of those was graded by PSA. So this one here is pretty common. If you wanted kind of a larger format, you can kind of see how the size of the card here compared to some of the other cards. This little photo is a larger version. So nice early 60s card there. So now let's get into the tops. So like I said, I do not have the 71, 66, or 64 base card at all, but I do have the 73. Picked this up a couple years ago when I got back into collecting there. 73 tops and a 6. A little off center there, but still a good example of the 73 tops, Roberto Clemente. Next up is the 72 in an SGC. I love this card, actually. I love this whole set here. And take a look at the back there. So that is the 72 tops. Now I do have a 71. It's not the base card. It is the 1971 Topps Super. So it is the 73 Topps Super. This was out of a 63 card set. And this is the raw version. And the backs look a lot like the 71 Topps there. So a little larger card. Beautiful picture of Clemente there. Moving on, we have the 1970 Topps Roberto Clemente in a 7. So I tried to get 6s and 7s throughout the 60s at least. And there is the back. And next up is the 69 Topps Clemente. Pretty good example in the 6. I was looking at a 7. This one actually, for me, I liked it a little bit better, and then the price was more reasonable. So that is a good example of the 69 Clemente. Next up is another 69. This is the decal edge Roberto Clemente. And then that is the back. So that's out of 33. And next up is the 68 Topps. In a 7. Nice example of that 68 Topps. I also have this 68 game card too. I just have it stashed away somewhere. This one's nice. This one's actually a nice card here. This is a 67 Topps. This is an interesting story. So I live in Florida. Not a lot of card shops around me anymore. But I actually, in my travels throughout Florida, try to stop into a few, and I found this in just a bin of cards, and I think I paid $10 for this. And it measures out to the correct size. And at one time, I'll send this off to get graded, but it looks like a beautiful example of the 67 there. The front is centered really well, and the back looks good. So eventually I'll send that off to get graded, but the beautiful example there of the 67 Clemente. All right, So moving on here, here's another example of I think this was a Greg Morris card that I purchased here. So that is the 65. And you can see a little bit of print dots there on it, but still the color is bright and vivid. Centering's decent on it. And then the back here looks nice. Next up is the 64. This will be actually two 64s. This is an example of not updating your spreadsheet and accidentally ordering two at the same time. So, which is fine. They look nice. So this is a 64 Topps Giant in a 7 and in a 6. So, a couple nice examples of that 64, since I don't have the base card there in 64 yet. I'm still looking. I just didn't like the centering of those 64s. The 71's tough also with those black borders, so I'm kind of picky on that one, and waiting to see when I can pick up one of those. So the next few cards here, I know I got on kind of a run here over the summer and was picking up some nice examples. This next one here is a PSA 7 63 Topps. Absolutely love the 63 Topps. I'll take a look at that and the back. Just a nice example of the 63 Clemente. And 62, which is tough. This is another one. This is another Greg Morris card here that I've got. So potentially something I'll send off to get graded here at one time. Beautiful card. Measures out to the correct size, so hadn't been trimmed or anything like that. And let's take a look at the back of this one here. So nice example of the Clemente. Now we're on to 61 Topps. So there is the 61 Topps in a PSA 7. Nice centering. Corners are decent. That top left one has like a little dirt spot on it or something. And then we'll take a look here at the back of it. 61 Topps Roberto Clemente. Now, one of my favorite sets in the 60s is the 1960. This is a 7. Just a beautiful example of a 7. Let me take a look at that. That is a beautiful Clemente. And then taking a look at the back there. So 1960, great year, beautiful cards. Now let's get into the 50s. So we have up to 1959. These are also some Greg Morris pickups here. A couple raw cards that I might send off at one point. But just beautiful examples of the 59 Topps Clemente. Love that card. And next up is the 58. This is at PSA 7. Another fine example. A little off center, but the coloring on this is really good. That yellow is bright and vivid. And then the back of the 58, I should say. This next one here is a huge card. This is a 1957 Topps. That is a PSA 7. Just a stunning card. The the camera doesn't give it justice, but this is a beautiful, beautiful example of the 57 Topps Clemente. There is the back. Just love that card. So that's the first year that they actually did real photos in the Topps cards. All right, down to the last two. So we have his 1956 Roberto Clemente in an SGC5. Just another example of a beautiful Roberto Clemente card. And take a look at the back of that. And finally, coming up here is just an example that I am so happy to have here, and that is his rookie card, 1955 Topps. I showed this off in one of my top videos. SGC4. This is an outstanding 4. The centering is beautiful on it. The colors are beautiful on it. I absolutely love this card. Great example of the Roberto Clemente rookie card. They just, since I purchased this, probably a year and a half ago, just the values of these cards have been just increasing tremendously. I do have some cards that I'm looking to get here in the future. I would love to be able to get the maybe a low grade 68 3D Clemente. I know the last one, I think it was Robert Edwards, just about a month ago. 9 went for $27,000, so I might be priced out of that one. 2020, I'm looking to get maybe some Bazooka Clementes and maybe some of the Cons Wiener Clementes. So thanks everyone. Look forward. I've got another video I'm going to do to wrap up my 2020 or 2019 pickups here. I appreciate everyone watching. Please comment. I love reading your comments and chatting with you on that. So thanks very much. This is John with Silver Food Cardboard. Thanks a lot.